Alycia Washington, USA Eagle sensation, joining us on the Free Jacks live show all the way from the United Kingdom. Superb to have you on the show, Alycia.
Amazing to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
So you're from New England, and now you're in the original England.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. And also telling people here that I'm from New England, they're like, what's that? So I don't even say it anymore.
Oh, that is so great. So, well, let's talk about that. How did you end up playing professional rugby overseas? Tell us a bit about the team you're playing for as well.
Yeah. So I feel like I've always wanted to do this. And I credit sort of two things. One is my obsession with like Harry Potter and everything England, for wanting to like make the trip over here. Cause like I've just been obsessed with that series since I was like 10 years old. So anything English is amazing to me, but also having been invited to play with the Barbarians a few years ago, the head coach that we had was Joe Yap, who was director of rugby at Worcester. So when I was getting serious about coming over here, I just kind of sent her a message and she was like, we'd be happy to have you. And that was really as much as it took to come over here. And then we, figured out the details and the timing, got, paperwork side of it, the visa side of it done. And then I was on a flight over here and it all felt very fast, but, I'm absolutely loving it here.
That's amazing. And so not only obviously you get to play alongside new players that you may have seen or played against internationally, but then you also have a few American players who are playing for other teams as well. So it must just be such a surreal, brilliant experience. So let's talk about USA playing England recently. What was that like? Did you have teammates on the Worcester Warriors side that you were playing against when you were representing the US?
Yeah. I had two of my teammates from Worcester were playing on the England side. Lydia Thompson was getting her 50th cap for England, which is absolutely incredible. And then Alex Matthews was also on the England side. And obviously we knew we'd be scoring up against each other. But I would say they're probably one of the two reasons I ended up at Worcester, because I was just so inspired by how they play, their work ethic, how they are as people. So it was actually really fun to play against them. Tough result for us, but as a squad, we did learn a lot. We learned what we're going to need to put in to go up against the top teams, especially heading into the World Cup next year. But also to play at six ways, to almost feel like it was a home game for me, to have the fans really treat me that way was really incredible. So, like I said, a lot of hard work ahead, but a lot of positives from that as well.
Totally. Okay, well, let's rewind it back a little bit. So before you became this inspirational trendsetter that travels the world representing the US and beyond, you attended Hamden High School, University of Connecticut. Tell us, where were you first introduced to rugby, and what was the pathway like for you going from the first time you touched the ball all the way to representing your country?
Oh, geez. Yeah. So Hamden High, I, owe a lot of my athletic experience to playing in high school. I didn't do rugby in high school. I did gymnastics, field hockey, and track and field. And I actually originally went to the University of Connecticut from Hamden High to throw shot put and discus. And then I ended up doing really poorly at the state championship and just completely choked. And then I just sort of lost my love for rugby. For track and field. Never lost my love for rugby, for track and field. And then once I got to UConn, I, wanted to find new friends. And I knew that was so much easier through sport. I also wanted, to not gain the freshman 15. And so one of my high school friends took me to my first rugby practice, which ended up being sort of like a rookie social get to know you practice. So we learned lots of rugby traditions. We learned, each other's names. And all of a sudden I had like 40, 45 new best friends in like week 2 of being at college. And then, from there, I played some B-side, got put on the A-side squad at 8-man, which I absolutely loved in college because I was huge. Like I'm essentially the same size I am now, but for once, like my size and stature was celebrated, which was like not quite the case in field hockey and gymnastics, where, the sticks weren't even like long enough for me in field hockey. So then I got invited to a U20 camp. Never thought I would make it. I made it. I was so shocked. We had our first tour in the Bahamas, which was incredible. And then I feel like it was like just, a bug. I just wanted to keep pursuing it and keep that in my life. So I just, kept at it, kept playing. Once I got my call up to senior side, again, I was at a camp where I was like, everyone here is so talented. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And then Peter Steinberg was like, hey, you're up for selection. Like, are you available? And I was like, yes. I didn't even ask my boss, didn't ask anyone. I was like, yes, I'm available. That was 2015. And, I've never really looked back. I've just really enjoyed every part of this experience and, loved, playing for the US love playing for all my clubs, Scion, Worcester. Now I feel like rugby's brought me so much, and I'm just so thankful for everything that these teams and these coaches have given me over the years.
Well, it's just wonderful to see you light up, talk about that story, and it's just the game is so amazing, and the people around it are so cool. So I always love hearing people's like how they get started. Now, you've also been a brilliant advocate for the women's game. Tell us a bit more about the XV Foundation and what's happening there, and how can people support it?
Yeah. So my teammate and I, Christine, who's actually over here playing for Gloucester, who I'll be playing against this weekend, she and I were just sort of looking around and seeing like, we don't have the funding that we need. We don't have the resources that we need. And there's no plan in sight for us to get there. So we decided to start the 15s Foundation and just gain more support, advocacy, and fundraising for the squad. And, in our first year, we were very happy to have raised right under $200,000. And that all went back to the team in terms of like programming and support. Because of course, USA Rugby was going through their fair bit of struggles in 2020, like right after the pandemic hit. We just knew that if it wasn't us, then who? Like, who's going to be the voice for the women that would advocate in the council meetings, in the board meetings and whatnot? So I think also Christine being on the Players Association board has been a massive advocate for us, which has been amazing. And yeah, there's so many ways to support. We have like direct player support. So it's like Adopt an Eagle, where you can pick the Eagle that you want to support and then give them whatever support that you find fitting, and we'll match you with that person. Our website has donations. We really want everyone to become a monthly donor, which is probably our biggest source of revenue right now. And then we also have in-kind sponsorships, or we have a deal with Rucking Good right now for a percentage of those sales that are going back to the team, which would be great Christmas gifts or holiday gifts for anyone in your life. We had a deal with Kombucha Aid that was every case sold, a percentage came back to the team. So, we're just chipping away and advocating. And it's really in small ways. Like, in some ways are bigger, like we were able to add to the per diems for our last tour. But some ways were, so to get to tour, there was nowhere in the budget for players to check their bags. So you're expected to be on tour for a month, and then these baggage fees, which, we're saying, hey, here's some money, but also you're not working for the next month. You've had to train, you've had to, eat well. So that's expensive. You've had to pay for your own gym. And now to get to us with all your luggage, you pay for your luggage. So then we are reimbursing the union for luggage fees. So it's like bigger things, and then also smaller things that should, we think, be included, but we're sort of filling the gap so that there's no out of cost for players in the future. And that's really what our goal is.
Oh, that's brilliant. I remember playing sevens for the US back in the day. And I remember we had, obviously everybody has financial struggles, and it is tricky because a lot of people they may see you on TV or see you on the big screen and think, wow, you compare you to some of the other American sports international players, but the budgets are vastly different. But we love what you're doing and creating awareness around there, which is so brilliant. Now, speaking of it, something else that's really fun as well, broadcasting, right? So you've been involved with the Major League Rugby broadcasting. You're doing some pitch side work and things like that. How have you found it? How have you enjoyed it? Is it something that you love and something you'll pick up after you're done playing?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to be on the sidelines for like every MLR game, or hopefully whatever the women's side of the MLR ends up being in the future, which I know will happen. I'd love to be on the sideline. I absolutely loved it. I think it actually made me more nervous than maybe any rugby game has, because it's a sort of like they just throw you in, which I guess maybe was how being a rookie was in rugby, right? Just throw in, pass backwards, run forwards, you got it. And that's sort of it. Like, they sort of told me, like, the game, so just talk about the game. And I'm like, but do I know the game? Like, you really question yourself. But I absolutely loved it. It was like a new sort of rush, like a new sort of like experience. And it was, just so incredible to be able to just talk about the game that I love. And it was also really fun to have like my family watch me on TV and hear me. And they were like, great job, like texting me all game, like great analysis. And they're like, they don't really know the game that well. So I don't know if they actually know how the analysis was, but it was just so fun to be able to share those experiences like with people around the country and, people that were watching. And I just like an extra connection to rugby that I never thought I would have. But now that I've had it, I'm like, okay, how do I keep pursuing this? So I'm not sure how I could do sideline commentary from England, but we could figure it out. I'm in.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about it is, unlike, playing, you have a shelf life, but in broadcasting, you don't, which is really nice. So you can always do it. You can always, depending on your schedule. And so I enjoyed when you were on the broadcast. So I know that you've got something, which is great. And don't worry about the insights. People don't understand how difficult it is. You've got directors speaking in your ear. You've got the other commentators going on. And then you need to come up with something that is, insightful and meaningful and a different way of saying the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But it was definitely a fun challenge, and I'm looking forward to any other opportunity that comes my way.
Brilliant. Now, before we let you go, we know you have amazing support from the New England area. They're following your journey now in England. Would you mind giving them a message of support and then also a different message to the Free Jack squad that's about to take part in MLR Season 5?
Yeah. I mean, I think the squad is absolutely incredible. They were, all my interactions with the squad were absolutely just fantastic. They are the most humble, hardworking team. And I really enjoyed watching their season earlier this spring. And I have 1000% confidence that they will get so far this season. And I just truly believe that you just stick together, do the little things right, communicate, work hard, stretch, just all those sort of things. And I'm so excited to watch what the season looks like this year. So let's ride.
Awesome. Let's ride indeed. Well, Alycia, thanks so much for your time. All the best for your brilliant stuff that you're doing that side. For USA Rugby and rugby in general, you're a trendsetter and you're inspiration for young folks coming through as well. We love what you do, and you're a Free Jack for life.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.